stablecoins will be the Trojan horse by which cryptocurrency is mass adopted. And if I'm right, this will be an incredible opportunity for Bitcoin and other decentralized assets like Ethereum. Now, before we get into all this, I just want to say I'm having a very proud moment this week as we've just conducted our first playtest of Pizza Heroes, the immersive 3D gaming title that I've been working on for the last year or so. And in my opinion, we're going to be giving you an entirely unique experience where you could play an amazingly fun and sticky shooter game that is going to allow you to compete against others around the world, put a smile on your face, all for free. And better than free, you're going to be able to earn crypto while you play. So if you're excited about that, smash the like button. It really makes me feel good. It helps support the channel, and it's totally free and easy for you to do. Here's 10 seconds of carnage from the Pizza Heroes playtest, just so you can get a sense of what we've been working on. And if you didn't get a chance to play, this will give you a little taste of what the game feels like. The other thing I wanted to talk about very briefly was all the negativity on the Ian Bellina video, and I totally underestimated the amount of triggering that would happen by having Ian Bellina on for a conversation on FUD TV. I've learned from it. I believe that Ian has some valuable information to pass on, and every time I've interacted with Ian behind the scenes, he's been pretty thoughtful, and I found him to be very genuine. So, I apologize. I didn't mean to trigger anyone. Everything I do on FUD TV, I try to create new knowledge and empower you all to think about the market and learn things in a new way. And I learned that you guys don't want to learn those things from Ian Bellina. So I've learned something, and I apologize for triggering you guys if that is what happened. As usual, guys, my only mission is to make you bigger, better, stronger, and faster. So I hope that maybe even if you don't like Ian, you learned something during our conversation. With that said, let's get on to the main subject of the day, which is, of course, stablecoins. Now, to start off today's episode, we have Benoit Couer. I'm really sure I mispronounced that. He's a former executive board member of the European Central Bank, current Bank of International Settlement board member, and he's talking about cross-border payments and digital currency at the 2020 World Economic Forum. This is amazing because what it shows to me is that this technology of cryptocurrency is so powerful that it's moving ahead of what governments are able to do so fast that people who are in positions of economic authority, the thought leaders of global economics, are quickly recognizing this as a must-have solution, even before countries get it together and make their own CBDCs. Listen up, I find this to be tremendously bullish, and I'll explain why just after the clip.
Where do you see the biggest advantage to stablecoins?
Well, it's about having a technology that cuts across borders and that can help cut the cost and improve the speed of cross-border payments, which everyone agrees now are too slow and too costly. So I would say the top priority for the global community is not about CBDC. CBDC will come in, so central bank digital currency. It will come in due course in different ways, and we're working on it. But the top urgent priority is to improve cross-border payments, in particular for low-income and developing economies, because that's a matter of financial inclusion and that's a matter of growth for the global economy.
So I find this tremendously bullish because stablecoins are clearly solving a problem. They're a painkiller for cross-border settlements. They're a painkiller for banking the unbanked. A lot of people don't fully understand or believe in the Bitcoin narrative yet. So to get them to commit to an extremely volatile asset to put their savings in, I think is potentially too big of a step for a lot of mainstream users. However, getting people who maybe never had a bank account into having stablecoin accounts and transacting and becoming part of the modern economy creates global growth. Those are net new financial participants. And so using stablecoins, this technology, beyond the fact that they're so useful, I believe is a big step towards understanding and being willing to invest in cryptocurrencies, especially the volatile ones that we know and love like Bitcoin. However, this is a medium step on the way, a step where maybe people might stay, a lot of people might stay, but it opens up the door to me for these people to then trade in those digital assets for other, better, more hard digital assets like Bitcoin. Couer, I'm sorry again for the pronunciation, Kuer also mentions that CBDC is coming, but it needs not to be the priority. In fact, CBDC will happen whenever it happens is sort of the mindset, but now we need stablecoins to solve this problem. And we're seeing when the tech is so much better than the legacy system, the technological need ends up superseding any other. And so what we're seeing here is that stablecoins are looking like the Trojan horse that are going to come in and satisfy economic needs, where the fiat system, the legacy system, is failing. Here's a great example of that. Pornhub now adds Tether stablecoin as new crypto payment option, and they're using this to circumvent the PayPal ban because their sex workers are not able to get paid normally through PayPal because PayPal did a blanket ban. Now we're seeing a need, right? These people are making money legally and they're not able to get paid through normal means, and we're seeing a technological innovation come in and solve it. Again, this is the value of when tech is so much better than the legacy system. We see the opportunity to have these dynamic changes. Again, we're seeing a stablecoin step in. We're not seeing Bitcoin being used. We're seeing Tether being used. And I think that what you're going to see is a lot more stablecoin usage sneaking in, becoming this Trojan horse for the ultimate cryptocurrency revolution. And we're seeing the same argument made here by David Marcus, who's the head of the Libra project, essentially arguing that the stablecoins are able to provide financial inclusion and that the unbanked problem globally is unacceptable. And this is a great example of how this modern innovation can really fix a huge problem of financial inclusion globally. Again, net new participants into the global economy will create growth. That is clear. And what's also clear is that the vehicle that they're going to be onboarded into this digital modern economy will most likely be, initially at least, through stablecoins. It is worth noting that this argument of banking the unbanked will be used as a shield to validate the use of stablecoins, regardless of the concerns of centralization and privacy, which are very valid. In my opinion, though, this is a small step forward, as the previous system with credit cards and all that stuff wasn't necessarily all that private. In the end, if the government wanted to find out what you were doing with your money, they could easily get your credit card statements. I see this as a median step, a necessary evil, if you will, in getting people to understand crypto assets, manage them, and be comfortable buying something like Bitcoin in the future. We also have word that Apple has just recently came out, even though supposedly this happened 2 years ago, that Apple was originally going to provide end-to-end encryption for a lot of its iCloud products, and the FBI complained, and so Apple didn't do it. This has led Pavel Durov of the Telegram Open Network to criticize Apple as being essentially a gigantic surveillance network. Again, we're seeing more and more that the centralized internet powers, the centralized tech powers that be, are potentially a risk to our privacy, to our security. In the end, as much of an advantage as this Apple lifestyle has provided, we also see the drawbacks here and the need for more encryption, for more privacy, for more control over our data, all of which is being provided by blockchain solutions. Again, this opens up a door for competitors to come in and provide services that are better than Apple. Hopefully, we walk through that door. Hopefully, the blockchain revolution, as it were, will put pressure on companies like Apple to provide better security, better encryption, just like Telegram has been providing, as they've been very resistant to calls for governments to provide backdoors and other ways to break through the encryption that they have in their product. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you guys nervous about the potential that iCloud being open to authorities presents? Does that bother you? Do you think it's just par for the course? And do you think that crypto and blockchain can provide a necessary disruption in this field of digital privacy? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, as we can see behind me, most of the market here is doused in red. What we're seeing here is, in my opinion, another bear market rally. I've seen so many of them that I'm just not really that willing to jump in and, believe in the trend until I see genuine confirmations of trend reversal. We saw that in 2019 when we broke through 6,500. That was clear that that was a pivot point on the market. And then we saw that again as we broke below this trend, continually putting in lower lows and lower highs. Now we look like we might want to reverse that trend, but to me, it wasn't a big enough confirmation. I'm not a chartist. I defer to people who are much better at reading charts than I am. However, it's pretty clear that right now we are not clearly in a bull market, not clearly in a bear market, and this sort of middle ground makes me most excited to start layering in buys. As you guys know, I sold a lot of my coins in between 11 and 12,000 for Bitcoin, and I've been buying back in at these lower levels, multiplying my stack in a sensible way. So that was my strategy. I talked about it on live stream several months ago, right as we were sort of bobbing below that $13,000, $14,000 high. I felt like I was seeing the $6,000 mark repeat itself and that we were doomed for a crash. That was what was going on in my internal system. I just said, I'm not going to do this again. I want to lock in my current stack and then multiply it as it gets lower. And that's exactly what I've done. I layered in buys at 6,500. And now over the next 6 months, a year, I want to keep layering in buys because I think these buys are going to be looked back on as very, very good prices. But my strategy is to do it week over week. Every week, put in a new buy. My budget, probably different than your budget, so I'm not going to go ahead and state what you should be buying, but put in whatever you can put in is my opinion, not financial advice, that over the next year or so, layering in weekly buys will be a very smart way to accumulate more crypto. It'll diversify the price points at which you get in and most likely lead to having substantial gains in the future. That's just based on the data. If you were to have done this starting with the 2017 high for Bitcoin, you would still be up. If you had been doing this week over week, you would have benefited from the lower prices throughout the bear market. Anyway, that's my position. That's what I'm going to be doing. Let me know what you guys are doing. How are you handling this middle ground market? It's very confusing, but I find it to be filled with opportunity, and even some altcoins I've started to buy little bits of because I believe that we're potentially reaching a bottoming point for these altcoins. A lot of them have been drained significantly so, and so I'm going to be doing mostly Bitcoin, but some alts, some select alts, and yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited for the potential bullishness after the halving. I don't think it'll happen very quickly, but I think over the year after the halving, I believe we will be in a much better position as a market. I believe previous all-time highs can be met, but probably not before the halving, probably after the halving. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'll do a halving video coming up soon if you guys really want it, but everyone's talking about the halving. I don't think you need another video from me on it. Anyway, that's how I feel, and that's, even though we have a little bit of red in the market, I think that this is sort of the time where we should start layering in small buys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious. How are you guys managing yourself in this choppy market? We also have word that Chainlink and Icon are teaming up, and I think this is more of a positive for Chainlink. It just shows that Chainlink is the Oracle solution for the blockchain. It is by far, it's the Ethereum of Oracle solutions for the blockchain, and it's going to be extremely hard to displace Chainlink because once something's working and satisfying a need and it's doing it better than anyone else, it starts to take over and really occupy that space, just like Ethereum occupies, for the most part, the smart contract, flexible smart contract space, and Bitcoin occupies the wealth mechanism space. I think that Chainlink has established itself in a really significant way, and definitely as Chainlink has, the bullishness has pulled back, I think it offers an opportunity to really stack up on your link and get ready for another bull run. I think they have a chance of having some significant pumps. As usual, though, my altcoin portfolio is significantly smaller than it was back in 2017, and rightfully so. That's what the market conditions have showed as the way to manage it. So anyway, that's what I believe. I'm very excited about this. Are you guys Chainlink fans? Are you Icon fans? I used to be a big Icon fan. I don't think owning the token right now is necessarily going to lead to gains. It's hard to see. They've suffered tremendously over the past year and a half or so. Nonetheless, very strong project out of Korea, and it's exciting to see them making these inroads with Chainlink. And there's this article right now on Cointelegraph called The Evolution of Bitcoin's Technology Stack. And it just shows you, there's a nice infographic showing you the different kinds of technologies being built around Bitcoin. From the mining side, privacy, smart contracts, performance and usability, layer 2, you're seeing all the different sort of projects and how they stack and integrate with Bitcoin. For me, it was a great refresher. I've learned all this stuff over time, but it was good to see it all condensed here. And if you guys are looking for a little bit of a refresher, trying to understand exactly how Bitcoin's technology has evolved and what are the components of its evolution, what are things that are going well that we should look forward to, that we should be, putting more pressure on and being more critical of, I think this was a great article, so I'm going to link it in the description below. And I find it very, very good to constantly refresh yourself because there's so many changes and developments over time. You got to always stay with it and understand how the tech is evolving, because in the end, this is a tech revolution. And final news of the day, we have Chili's launching a crypto exchange for trading sport fan tokens. I believe that this is a huge opportunity. I'm a big fan of the teams that they've already enlisted. I'm a soccer fan. I've played soccer my whole life. I'm a soccer guy. I love going to games, especially European games. And their teams out there are just so passionate and so, so connected with their communities. Well, that's it for me, guys. Just recording this outro on my iPhone so you can have a smooth outro from this video. In the end, I'm gonna fix my recording this week, getting a whole new setup, and hopefully that will iron out any issues I've been having with the video recording on OBS. At any rate, I'm so excited about cryptocurrency right now. I'm so excited about what's gonna happen over the next 6 to 12 months in this industry. And I believe that if you've been here since the last bull run, that you will be reaping an incredibly, incredibly bountiful harvest very, very soon from the next bull run that we should be entering into within the next 12 months or so. Regardless, I'm gonna keep my head down and keep working on the product. Your guys' support of my development and my product cannot be overstated how important it is. You guys have been supporting the project from the beginning, and you guys continuing to support it is so critical to the next phase. I'll be giving you lots more updates now that we're at this phase. I just can't wait. I'm so overwhelmed with excitement. Let me know, how do you guys feel about crypto right now? How do you feel about, the potential for a bull run right now, the halving? What's going on in your minds? Are you as excited as you were before? I think right now I might be more excited, or as excited as I've ever been for the future of cryptocurrency. Anyway, that's it for me. As usual, you're watching Elio Trades. This is FUD TV. If you haven't subscribed or liked the video yet, please do that. It really helps the channel out. And as usual, I'll see you very soon on the next episode.